Welcome to my top 5 problems series where I talk about the top 5 problems on vehicles. And this is not top 5 problems, oh, it rides and looks good and here's the quirky issues of it. No, I talk about real problems, mechanical problems that I see every day in my shop. I focus on keeping you off side of the road and telling you what you're getting yourself into before you buy that said vehicle. Today's patient is actually a 7th gen Dodge Charger. This is actually a 21 model. The 7th gen runs from 2011 on up to 23. The 23 was the last Hemi Chargers, and I think they switched to, I don't know, tuner Chargers. That's what I call them. Before I get started, there are different Hemis. Today we're just going to be talking about the 5.7 Hemi. Of course, you have the 6.2 Hellcat Hemi engine and the 6.4, which is the 392 Hemi engine. We're not talking about those today. They have their own little quirky issues. We're just sticking with the 5.7. Real quick, just a disclaimer. I am out here working. Live time is background noise, birds chirping, dogs barking, planes going over. They building houses over there somewhere. So I apologize. But let's jump right into this thing so we can learn. First problem I see is going to be cooling issues. I see a lot of water pump failures where the seal will start leaking in the front, start slinging coolant everywhere. On this model, I do see radiator failure also. Is it a big deal? No. How can you prevent some of this stuff? The water pump, I'm not sure. But when it comes to the radiator, with a performance car like this, the first thing I do if I had this car is go with an all aluminum radiator. These newer cars, they have these plastic intakes that they just leak from. I don't like it. So that's how you catch some of those issues before they get bad. Number 2 is going to be the infotainment system. This thing likes to flip out. Well, there's the first problem right there. I got a Hellcat badge, and this is just a 5.7 Hemi Daytona edition. That'll tell you something. They don't got the programming right on this thing. Programming issues. I see where the camera will be flopped around, so it'll look like what's to my right here. It'll look like my toolbox is to my left. So I look over, my toolbox ain't over there. It's flop-sided, and that can really mess you up. How to fix that? I normally send people back to the dealership. Sometimes it'd be a programming issue, and sometimes they have to replace this whole thing. That's the only solution that I know of with that. Just playing about the Hellcat symbol. They do that for some odd reason. I don't know. Somebody write down in the comment that know more about that than I do. Why put a Hellcat symbol in the background of the radio and this is not a Hellcat? Kind of confusing if you ask me. That's a Dodge thing for you, I guess. Number 3, tres. I think that's how you say it in Spanish. It's gonna actually be the worst one. It's gonna be that infamous Hemi tick. Oh my gosh. Now, compared to GM, it's not bad. Bad, expensive. Both of them gonna be expensive, but the Hemi will actually go more of a distance mileage wise. I see these normally fail at around, I'll say good 160, between 160 to about 180, 190-ish. So you really get a lot of distance out of the vehicle before you start having lifter issues out of it. Unlike GM, I heard they be failing at 20,000 miles, 60,000 miles. I'm like, sheesh. How to prevent this, you may ask? Well, the aftermarket got you. I don't do aftermarket stuff at my shop, but if you're into that type of thing, you can do the Hellcat lifters. I heard that was a nice upgrade, and that pretty much solves your problem. And delete the AFM. Like I said, I don't do any deletes at my shop. That is illegal in the state of Georgia. I'm not trying to be making an example out of. You know how that goes. They be trying to get me. Boy, this Georgia weather is so bipolar because now it's raining out the blue. Isn't that something? It was just sunny outside. Now, dealing with these lifter tick, This cylinder head has to come up. The whole top of the engine got pretty much have to come off. So it's gonna be in the thousands. So somebody come to you and be like, yeah, I can do your lifters, give me $1,000. Don't fall for it. What sounds too good to be true, it is. Don't be got. Don't be got. I think I said that right. Don't get got. Got it. So get a professional anytime you're working with this engine. You don't want the wrong hands to be touching around in there. You will end up in worse situation. To avoid it, I don't really know how to avoid it without going in. Either way it goes, you have to go in and take everything apart to get to the lifters regardless, because like the good old days, the lifters was, you can pull up the intake and the valley, the lifters are right there. But now you have to remove the heads to get to the lifters. So, do an upgrade. You it's gotta come up in either way it goes. Kind of messed up that word. Has to come up either way it goes. Now, you may ask, I don't have the money for that. I get this all the time. I'm just gonna drive around for months and years on end. Well, you're gonna cost yourself an engine. As soon as you hear that lifter tick, metal shavings is starting to circulate through that engine. You might as well just take metal fragments and open your oil cap and dump them in there and crank up your engine, because that's what you're doing. You're letting metal circulate through that thing. And if you drive around constantly with it like that, it's gonna start eating up your bottom end. It's gonna destroy your oil pump. You're gonna cost yourself an engine for no reason. Number 4 is gonna be, I haven't seen it in my shop because I don't get into transmissions. I'm not a transmission expert, but it's been high reports of transmission failure. Like I said, maybe it's people not maintaining their transmissions and changing the fluid every 30,000 miles because the dealership is saying, oh, it's lifetime fluid. You don't never have to change your fluid. Oh, that is so BS, man. I can't tell you enough. That is crap. Change your fluid. If the dealership told you don't change your oil, it's lifetime oil, would you believe them? No, you're gonna change your oil. So same thing goes with your transmission fluid. Change your fluid, your transmission will last. Point blank, period. Now, when you're having this thing serviced, make sure you're using the correct fluid type and changing that filter. It's very important. I can't tell you how many times I've seen where people use the wrong fluid type and they turn a simple service into a nightmare and then mess up their transmission for using the wrong fluid. Now, I've heard reports, like I said, I haven't seen them, of people notating jerking, slipping, that sort of thing. Now, you may ask yourself, well, what if I'm at 140, 150,000 miles and I ain't never had no fluid change? Rule of thumb, that kind of mileage, I would just leave it alone. Here at my shop, if it's below 120, I will drain and fill. Drain and fill is the safest solution out there. Now, like I said, good people, I'm no transmission expert. I want to hear from you. Help me help the people by commenting and telling me your experience, because I know somebody is watching with a Dodge Charger out there. Number 5. Now, before I get into number 5, I want to let you know it's not a mechanical issue. And that being said, I just want to say, when they build performance stuff, it just goes to show how stout it is, because manufacturer know people are going to be beating on these things and they don't want them just falling apart or stuff going out prematurely. They expect you to be thrashing this stuff, and for the most part, people do thrash them. Y'all seen the street takeover videos. I'm pretty sure you have. Maybe this one has been in it. I see some side swipe damage going on in the back end somewhere. But number 5 is going to be theft. Theft is the most known. These things are known to be stolen left and right. People will purchase stolen Hellcats where people done VN swapped them, so you got to watch out for that. You have to take measures to protect your car from being stolen after you done purchased it. Normally, how you prevent theft on these, they have on these, what these do, they'll get in your car because they don't have a steering wheel lock. Let me get in and demonstrate. You make sure the key is out the car. Most vehicles have a steering wheel lock. This one don't. As you can see, I can turn it on. The key is, let me take the key away from the car. Bam. All right, now, let's see. All right, nothing. So if I want to steal this car, all I have to do is pull this up and pull the shift override. You put it in neutral. I'm not going to show anything because I don't want to give people ideas. And they will just push your car away, and they can easily steer it. And they tow truck or flatbed will be out there waiting, or they'll just simply get another car and push it on where they need to push it to and do their thing, and they have themselves a Charger or Challenger for the most part. So y'all be careful. Take the necessary measurements to protect your assets. It's not assets, it's a liability, but protect your property. That's what I'm trying to say. So, should you buy the 5.7 Hemi Charger or Challenger? Well, I know I would, but let's take a listen and see what she has to say. Ooh. Oh yeah, she sounds real good and telling me all the right stuff. Oh yeah, really do sounds good. Now, if you're thinking about buying that 3.6 Pentastar, check out this video right here. Tell you all the top 5 problems going on with it. Alex Car Doctor out.